Thank you for tuning in to the Doing Business with God podcast.
Hey, you. Yes, you. I am your host, Michi Renee.
It is Michi's passion to help you live your best life and do business God's way. Michi will be talking about entrepreneurship, manifestation, monetization, mindset, beliefs, starting and growing a business, nonprofit, or ministry, all while serving God. So welcome to My Daddy's Business. It's time for the show. It's the Doing Business with God podcast with your host, Michi Renee.
Hey tribe, welcome back to another episode of the Doing Business with God podcast, dedicated to helping you do business God's way. In this episode, I will be talking with Leisha Johnson of A Woman's Strength. So just a little bit about Leisha. A Woman's Strength is a collaboration to help empower women in their differences and commonalities in a non-judgmental way. She is a mom, daughter, sister, and friend. And just like me and you, she is a hardworking woman. She has a career, family, bills, and sometimes a ton of bricks in her bag. A Woman's Strength blog was created to promote self-love, self-advocacy, and sisterhood. She wants all women to realize we have so much in common that we can ever imagine. We may not look the same, and internally we have our own challenges, but we are whole when we are there for each other and uplift one another. You can visit the Woman's Strength blog at awomanstrength.solutions. And she encourages you to email her, and she responds to all those that show interest. And you can do so at awomanstrength0@gmail.com. And all of this information will be in the show notes as well. So welcome to the podcast, Leisha.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is so great to have you here. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in and get started. How long have you been in business?
For 3 years now.
Okay, awesome. So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and how you came about starting A Woman's Strength.
So initially it was a vision. I just had a dream overnight and was like, I need to do this. I need to start a blog. It was just a reach back to capture some of the moments that I've encountered, and as I was healing, release them, but help people along the way. So I approached a couple of girlfriends and we started together. It ends up just being me now, but that's pretty much how it started.
Okay. And so have you always liked writing or?
Yes. So my writing started in high school. I initially went to a vocational high school and it was for communication. And as my high school, I changed high schools, and as my high school years progressed, I was into journalism. So that's where the writing kind of started.
Oh, okay, awesome. And just heard you mention something that you were healing from something. So
we hope that you are enjoying this episode. If you would like to be a guest, check the show notes for all the details. Let's get back to the Doing Business with God podcast with Michi Renee.
Yeah, so I have adversities of growing up with neglect, abandonment, and then going into a series of relationships where, I had made mistakes because of past hurts. And then I ended up in a longer relationship marriage where it was actually abusive in every which way. And so that's kind of where that lies.
Yeah. And I do recall from your bio that I was just reading, you mentioned a ton of bricks in your bag. So
yeah,
what do you mean by a ton of bricks in your bag, and how has that influenced your life, your business, your blog, all of those kinds of things like that?
A ton of bricks is just dealing with the people. Bricks are, for me, they've been people because the people have brought the situations about. And I've had to still deal with people, these people who I'm associating with the bricks. while I heal. And it was extremely hard because I had to love them as well. You know, especially your parents. They have nothing but love for me. I have nothing but love for them. They were very young when they had me. And then, you know, there were a lot of neglectful and abandonment type issues. So I was carrying that from my childhood, my adolescence, into my adulthood. And then I'm just attracting all of these other people that had similarities to that, but that's all I knew. And so, you know, those are the bricks, you know, the people that you encounter, the situations that they bring about that you allow to come into your space.
Absolutely. I can totally relate, you know, not necessarily with the abuse and neglect and different things, but just allowing the wrong people to be in relationship with, period, knowing that, you know, they were not necessarily good for me at the time. And so I can totally relate to that. I never thought of them as bricks. So that's a good analogy of that.
You know, the heaviness that you can't shake them because you have to still have relationship with them. I mean, you know, they don't realize that's what they have done, or, you know, because everyone has their things, you know, that they're dealing with. And so that was the only thing I could relate it to in terms of the weight.
Right. And so a woman's strength. So outside of the blog, do you guys do anything else within your business?
Right now, operating a group, I wouldn't say operating, engaging a group. There's 317 women in the group today.
Awesome.
And it is awesome. There's more engagement from myself, but there are several other women who go on daily and post empowerment, share spiritual scriptures, different speaking engagements from local pastors, or just, you know, entrepreneurs that are promoting empowering messages while they're promoting their business. And so we just kind of have been doing that. I would like to see more engagement of a collaboration in person. And that's what I'm working toward now.
Reaching wild, teaching, reaching wild, teaching. Let me stop playing with you guys. This is Shanita Lacia of the Reaching While Teaching podcast. Listen, my podcast is all about reaching people while teaching them how to live their best life. I keep it practical. I keep it short and sweet. I keep it entertaining, and I keep it very relatable. So please check out my show if you're interested in growing into your God-given potential, because I know greatness is inside of you. So check it out. What are you waiting for? The Reaching While Teaching podcast, available everywhere. Y'all be blessed.
Okay. How can people join? Is this on Facebook, or is it a membership, or how do you get involved with the group?
It's totally free. It's a join on Facebook group. It's private. However, you can find us at A Woman's Strength if you query it in the search engine, Facebook. I also have a blog, which you know of, and you can, if they want to click the link from the blog page on Facebook, they're able to do that as well.
Okay, awesome. Absolutely. I would definitely love collaborating and doing different things with different types of women. One of the things that I can think of currently on a way that we can collaborate is my business. One of my values is fun. So I am a business coach. So I help women launch and scale businesses online to build impactful communities or whatever it is that they're trying to do. But one of the things that I do on an annual basis, we did not get to do it this year because of COVID, is I always have an annual, what I call a business bestie girls trip. So it's a way for like-minded women to come together and to just have some fun, to relax, to step away from your life, to step away from your business. And so this year, that trip is going to be in April. So we're going to San Francisco, California, and it's going to be an amazing, fun time. So that could be a possible way for us to collaborate our two communities together. But what do you have in mind as far as collaboration is concerned for your community?
So it's consistent to what you mentioned, and it is definitely a trip. I was thinking more of a wellness retreat, and probably maybe not so much mountain, but maybe lakeside retreat in the States. But I haven't figured out a location yet.
Oh, awesome. Definitely. I'm all about wellness and healthcare and self-care and physical, emotional, and spiritual. So just overall encompassing of taking care of self, even in a business capacity.
Yeah, it's so important. You lose yourself a lot just daily, taking care of other things, whether you're working for someone or yourself, you're still taking care of other people and other things, and you lose yourself. You need that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this podcast and my business and a lot of listeners to this podcast, we believe in God and all of those things. So how do you do business with God? How do you honor God in your business?
Wow. So daily I post what I call a morning scripture, and I do Bible study every morning. That's first and foremost after I thank him for waking me up. And I decide what I want to kind of blog about, but I'm doing it by scripture. So I'll select the scripture and then I'll figure out some type of affirmation that would coincide with it to share, and also kind of live that out throughout the day. Lately, I've been also going into the group and blogging whatever it is that's relational to both the scripture and the affirmation.
What's your favorite affirmation?
Today it's major. That is what it is today. And because things are going to happen, it has been a testy year, but it also has been a great year for me. There's some major accomplishments that I've been able to accomplish. And so I'm internally grateful to God for that. And so it's major today.
It's major today. I can definitely relate. 2020 has definitely been an interesting year. It's taught me determination. It's taught me resilience. It's taught me how to pivot, make changes quickly, both in my life and business. So how has 2020 affected you in the positive? We're not going to talk about the negative. We're going to talk about the positive. What positive ways has COVID or the coronavirus affected you?
It has iterated taking care of myself in terms of keeping up with my daily vitamins, looking out for my blood pressure levels, and to make sure that they're low, keeping my peace sacred. It's also given me time to spend with my children that I normally wouldn't because of the hustle and bustle. I just purchased a home in March of this year, right before everything. So that was major for me, coming in and out of different transitions when it comes to housing and just stability. And I was able to secure my finances a little longer. I'm a contractor and I have been for 20 years, give or take a few times where I wanted to, go into another area.